Welcome to the Mike and JD Show YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. I want you to do me a big favor before you check out this clip. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to throw in a comment and make sure you're a subscriber to this channel. And then I want you to share this video with your friends. Help us defeat the algorithm. And then if you like this content and you appreciate this content, please head over to patreon.com/the Mike and JD Show and support the show. That is how we actually get funded to be able to do this. So we thank you very much for being here. And now enjoy the clip. Disappointed. And the other thing, and this really pissed me off. And I'm going to play the clip here in a second. But you know, earlier this week, Scott D'Amore, and this is what we'll lead the show off with. Scott D'Amore was on Busted Open Radio, and he was kind of touting that he is on the verge of signing one of the biggest signings in TNA. He said it's going to blow everybody's socks off. It's going to be a big deal, right? And so I had a little bit of time on Monday. Over the weekend, I did not get to record a Brace for Impact because my schedule was swamped. And to be honest, there wasn't really much to talk about in the world of TNA because they're not producing new content right now. So I had nothing really to cover. And the news items that they had I would have had maybe 5 minutes to talk about. But Scott D'Amore goes ahead and he feeds us podcasters some news to talk about. Touting this big signing. And so I went on to our Patreon and I recorded a show talking about who I thought it was going to be. Now, I started that show off basically saying that I thought it would be Dolph Ziggler and that Dolph Ziggler would be a little bit of a disappointment. JD, I'll get your comments here in a sec. I said the only person that would not be I said two people would not be disappointments. I said Sasha Banks, Mercedes Mone, and Kazuchika Okada. And I said, neither one are really all that likely. I said Mercedes Mone would probably be the biggest one for TNA to get, the most famous person that they could possibly get that would probably make the to help their company out the most. But she's WWE bound. They ain't got a hope in hell. Well, then Joe Lanza, what a jerk this guy is. Totally shits all over my podcast. Buries everything I had just said. And with this comment from the flagship show, take a listen.
W may have lost their grip on Sasha Banks as well. Impact is touting that they have a big signing to announce in January, and they're touting it as a big one. I would not totally discount Sasha Banks for Impact. And
unbelievable.
The reason I say that, our TNA, I guess we're back to TNA.
Yep. Final Resolution is the final Impact. So, we're TNA.
Right when you get used to saying Impact, now you have to get used to saying TNA again. But as we know, they've made plays. They made plays for Will Ospreay and Punk to whatever degree they made those plays, and they basically have a fistful of money that they're trying to spend on a big free agent.
Yeah. So essentially, they got a fistful of money in there. Go ahead.
No, I'll say I went to the BFI chat and just I said I went to the BFI chat today and I just dropped that and walked away. Like I just said, oh yeah, Voices Wrestling saying that Sasha Banks or Mercedes coming to Impact or TNA, and then I didn't say anything else. And I came back because I was reading finals, so I didn't even really drop the bomb. And like people had like follow ups, and I had nothing. I wouldn't have anything to give to me. I was like, I don't have any secret info. Like I did a big deal. It was entertaining me today about
it. Yeah, you did really drop a big bombshell, and they were tagging me, and they were like, "Hey, Mike, you're in some of those chats. What do you know, man?" And I was just like, "Dude, I know nothing." So you texted me, and you're like, "Oh, it was just on the flagship. No worries, go check it out." So I was like, "Okay," because I had not at that point listened to the flagship just yet, and I listened to that. Joe Lanza is not reporting that Sasha Banks is signing with TNA. He's just saying TNA has a fistful of money, and they are trying to spend it on somebody. And the biggest possible name that they could spend it on right now would be Mercedes Mone.
100%. And that is the biggest signing they could have right now. Joe also says interesting stuff about how Mercedes' New Japan run has kind of been a flop, which I was surprised to hear him say until he backed up his words by pulling up the fact she hasn't, like, other than the show in California, it hasn't really drawn much, and she's been hurt for most of it. So, maybe it has been. Maybe it is time for her to find some big money. And like, I think it's funny that you just said, "Oh, she's going back to WWE," because that's what Mike always says. Whenever there's a free agent available, anyone who's a free agent, anytime anyone's up for grabs, Mike says, "Oh, they're definitely going to WWE." He just assumes that anybody in pro wrestling who's not signed to a contract wants to or is on their way to or eventually will be signed by WWE. We've had this show for 2 years, and he has purported that Matt Cardona is going to WWE no less than 6 times. No less than 2 years.
Yeah. I think everybody that it's been what, FTR, right? That was one. Matt Cardona was one. There's been a lot of people that I've just assumed they were all going back to WWE because, it's historical precedent, right? Everybody ends up going back eventually. So naturally, why would that not be my first assumption that they would be going back to WWE? It only makes sense that that's where they would go. I figured that if I just keep saying it, it's, I'm probably going to be about 75% right. Unfortunately, lately, I have not had a really good batting average with that mentality.
The one guy you didn't say was CM Punk, and that happened.
In fact, I said he would never go back.
No. Yeah. Oh. So apparently, I don't know if you heard this today too. I guess Sean Ross Sapp reported that Mercedes is asking for more money than Cher just re-signed supposedly the biggest women contract in WWE history for. She's asking for significantly more money than that.
I mean, if you can get it, go for it, girl.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not going to hate on anybody for. Yeah, I'm not going to hate on anybody for trying to get paid. Go get paid. It might not work out though, and she might end up pricing herself out of a WWE deal, which would then leave her, with TNA and AEW as options. And as it stands right now, it seems like AEW and Sasha Banks have basically, they're not really talking at this point. And TNA is right there and wants to just blow money on somebody. And why not her? And Joe and Rich brought up the fact that TNA does a lot of short-term deals. Like a lot of their deals are like 6 months. They're willing to, instead of like forcing someone to come in, or forcing is a strong word, instead of locking someone down for 3 years to where they can't do anything other than your promotion, they're like, come in for 6 months, give us a shot for 6 months. And then if you like it, we'll extend your stay, and we'll try to do business going further than that. And then if you don't like it, well, then you can go do something else. And I think that could be an option while Mercedes and Trinity both, they work together in TNA while they're, checking out the landscape of WWE and then seeing how things shake up there, and then eventually going back to get that big money over there.
Are they going to get the big money over there? And that's that. Here's where I'm at right now. Whereas everybody goes back, companies doing better without the two of them than they were when they were there. What's the incentive to re-sign? What if I'm Nick Khan? Let's not forget about Paul. Paul's a dork. Like, he just wants all his NXT kids back. If you're Nick Khan, who's like the real guy on the company now, why do you want Sasha Banks and Trinity back? Like, what do they have to offer that you can't get from what you have now?
My mentality is that if I'm looking at it purely like taking the emotional context out of it, like put yourself in a Nick Khan shoes, and I don't think Nick Khan runs this business based off of emotion. It doesn't seem that that's what he does business. Right? Oh, yeah. So if you take the emotional context and historical context of what those two ladies meant to WWE and their fans, if you take it based off of what they're able to draw, you don't bring them back. You just create somebody new. You just build up the next person to take their spot. Say thank you guys. Go do your thing. We can create new talent, and everybody essentially in that promotion is replaceable, right? We thought John Cena couldn't be replaced. Here comes Roman Reigns, right? And then now Roman Reigns can't be replaced. He only shows up every couple of months. You got Cody and you got Seth Rollins and you got other guys doing just fine without him, right? Like, that place is just a machine and it just cranks out stars. So yeah, if I'm the one negotiating the deal for the WWE side, I'm like, no, I'm not giving you that fucking money. Here's what I'll give you. And if you don't like it, go to TNA.
Does it crank out stars? Maybe I'm wrong on this. I would think a star is someone that can bring an audience somewhere else. Who has left WWE other than CM Punk? CM Punk has proven to be a star. Who has left WWE and brought an audience with them anywhere? A significant audience. One that matters.
Okay. It depends on your definition of star. What I'm
My
saying is
definition of star is someone who
WWE.
fucking mattered. I know they call
Right.
everyone superstar. Everyone who puts on a pair of trunks.
Yeah, I'm
is superstar.
just meaning people.
Superstars.
What I'm saying is they just crank out people that they could fill their cards out with, that they can do well with no matter what, right? That's
Those
what I'm
aren't
saying,
stars.
right?
Those aren't
Yeah.
stars.
Well,
They crank out.
those are
they crank out-
WWE stars.
No, the WWE Superstars, which is code for cog in the machine. Because when you
Yeah.
leave the nest, you don't fly. Punk is the one guy who immediately made a big difference when he left. Moxley had to basically rebuild himself and became a star again. Bryan Danielson basically, had some, but I mean, it wasn't like Dynamite ratings went crazy for him, and he was a massive star over there, right? And that's the thing about WWE
I would
fans
say
is they like WWE. They don't care about, like, our good buddy Scott. I just support the people that goes there that are there. No, you don't. You support the machine, because whenever anybody leaves, the whole fandom acts like they don't matter anymore, and they never did. So I'm just I disagree with this notion that they crank out stars, because if LA Knight leaves tomorrow, he's not going to mean shit on the independents again. He's back to Eli Drake.
I think you just took it the wrong way. I think I just meant like it doesn't matter. Like they have a next man up mentality, right?
They do have a next
one guy goes down, one guy goes down, they're just cranking out the next person. If the word star gets you grinds your gears, I won't use that one. But I just mean like they just got the next talent ready to go. No big deal.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think you're wrong. I think that leads into what we're talking about. Sasha Banks, and she's asking, Mercedes Mone, she's asking for all this money. And it's like, all right, are you worth it? It's not like New Japan went crazy when she was under there, and it doesn't sound like New Japan isn't all in a hurry to work with her again. Like, what did she really mean for their bottom line? Not a lot. Not what Chris Jericho meant, and they paid her a lot of money. So I mean, Monet. So I push back on this idea that they create stars. They create very strong sprockets that keep that machine humming.
Yeah. And so for TNA, I think the inevitable answer is going to be, will she be worth the money that they're going to have to dish out to get her? I don't know that we'll ever know the answer to that question, because A, I don't know that we'll ever know how much she gets paid, and B, I don't know that how we'll ever know how much she's bringing in, right? Like we'll never know the true definition of that answer. I think the short answer is probably not, but they need a big splash if they're going to get any kind of attention. And I think they're willing to take a loss on this to just to attract some other free agents to come over there, because they've been, like, look, if they'd have brought Will Ospreay over and they paid him $1 million a year, they were never getting that money back. They were, you know what I mean? As great as he is, they were never getting that money back. You know what I mean? And if they do the same thing for Sasha, they're never getting that money back. I think they're just trying to get themselves in the fucking game and just trying to attract new free agents and just trying to make some kind of noise. And I applaud it. I don't know if in a business sense it's ever going to work, but you got to take some chances if you're ever going to, improve your stock in this business.
Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you work your A game. A-man, no rain from the track when we unite and spit. This isn't A game, better bring your A game. Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you work your A game. A-man, no rain from the track when